We have other things that we're trying to do. I don't know, like write. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, quite a lot of things. I shouldn't say that. Hi guys, I'm Rhian Edwards, a young adult paranormal and fantasy author, and today I'm coming to you with another tips and hacks video, and this time on social media. But before I get into it, please give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you as a viewer as we talk about more tips and hacks and writing life in general. So without further ado, let's skip into this video.
I know it's breaking through, I know it's breaking through, I know it's breaking through, I know it's breaking.
Okay, I am not a social media expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I have picked up a few things that I think are really starting to help me grow my engagement and my following. So let's talk about the first thing, which is to find the platform that works best for you. So Instagram still. YouTube, not Facebook, not Twitter, and guess what I've also recently started? TikTok. So I started TikTok. I was told by so many different people that it's really good for authors and that there's this whole BookTok community, and I hadn't really got to grips with what BookTok is, or TikTok even, other than that it was like Reels but different. And as I was only just getting to grips with Reels on Instagram, I thought, whoa, I can't do this at the same time. So that's the first tip, is to only focus on one or two platforms at a time and get comfortable with them, and that's what I've done. So I'm comfortable with Instagram. I'm still learning and growing, but there's blooming chair. I'm still learning and growing, but I've now sort of branched out to TikTok as well and sort of understand what that's all about. Okay, so I think I've gone through the first 1 and 2 points together at the same time. So find your social media platforms that work well for you and where your readers are, and then only focus on 1 or 2 at a time, just so that you're not confusing yourself, and then you can really narrow down your focus on those platforms, which leads nicely into the next tip, which is to find a niche. Now, I hate that word. I have hated that word for so long, because you get all these social media experts talking about find your niche, and then you're like, I don't have a niche, I write books, that's my niche, and apparently that's too wide. I'm just going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, in that I read Bethany Atazadea's and Mandy Lynn's sort of, I think it was the 4th book in their series, about how to make sales on social media. But there were some really good, helpful insights, and I do recommend reading that book, because it sort of made me feel like it was okay not to have a really specific niche. When these Instagram experts talk about these niches and stuff, they're like talking about specific businesses. Now, I know that a lot of us see ourselves as entrepreneurs, and that's amazing, but we have a wider niche than a lot of businesses in a way. So we can talk about our books, we can talk about reading, we can talk about writing, and there's several things that we can talk about within our niche. So what I liked about the Selling on Social Media book by Bethany Atazadea was that she had different content pillars. So I think that's a really good thing to pick up on. So again, go and read that book if you want to know more. But I liked knowing that it was okay and acceptable for authors to have like several pillars, as it were, that form the foundation of your social media. And so I think go ahead and pick some content pillars that you will focus on as you write. Find your niche by finding your content pillars, like 4 or 5 different areas that really speak to you and that will help you find your ideal reader. I think that's important to remember. As always, ideal reader. The next tip is consistency. I know, she says. But consistency is really important. I'm not saying if you need a few days off social media not to take it. In fact, I think if you do need a break, to take it. But consistency does help, and consistency can be key. Another thing is to be present, be social. How many times have we heard that on social media? But be around in the comments. It's okay to use like scheduling apps. I've used them before as well. I know some people dismiss them and say, no, you shouldn't use social media scheduling apps, but blah, blah, blah. We lead busy lives, okay? These content creators, right, these Instagram experts, that is their job. That's not our job. And I've said that before in different videos. We have other things that we're trying to do, I don't know, like write. So scheduling posts isn't actually a bad thing. It means that we can get all our social media heads on in one go and then schedule them. But I do recommend hopping on around the time that you've scheduled to interact with comments, not just on your own post, but on other people's. And you also get to know what works and what doesn't work. If you see things that are working really well for other authors, you might be able to try and recreate that yourself as well to try and draw in your ideal reader. Okay, the next tip, and I'm already laughing, is to not to worry about the numbers. I know she says that when a lot of her goals are based on numbers. But what I mean by that is it's not the amount of followers you have, it's the quality of followers you have. Now, I have definitely lowered my expectation of numbers, and since I've really started thinking about my ideal reader and who I want following me, I've no longer been concerned, and there's a little caveat to that, but I've no longer be concerned about, I'll get suddenly an influx of followers, and most of these are people that have nothing to do with my area, or sometimes they are other authors, but again, not in my genre. If I like what they write, as in like, oh, that looks interesting to me, even if it's outside of, say, YA, I'll follow them. If somebody follows me that I think, oh, I actually really like your account for ideas, for Bookstagram, or maybe something completely different, but that I personally like, then I will follow as well. But sometimes people follow you just for the follow back, and then you'll find they unfollow you in a couple of weeks' time when you haven't followed them. And that can be a bad thing, because if you have lots and lots of followers but nobody engages, then Instagram doesn't like that and it doesn't push your content out to as many people. So you actually want more engagement on your posts than you do followers. So I only follow people that I want to enjoy, that I like the look of, or that I find their books interesting. Basically, don't be concerned with your numbers of followers. Be concerned with the engagement that you're getting, and only follow people that you enjoy or you want to connect with. And the people that follow you should be doing the same, okay? So don't worry about them and their needs if they're only following you to get a follow back. We don't like those kind of people. Okay, so the next thing, I probably shouldn't have to say this, but I am. Try not to be negative. And when I say that, I talk about my depression and my anxiety, and I will probably continue to talk about those things because I think it's important to sort of share and bring awareness and try and hopefully bring some positive ideas about how to move on from those with you guys. I don't necessarily see that as negative. What I talk about when I'm talking about negativity is putting other people down. I think that's just a big, big no. Don't do that. We have so much of that. Don't contribute to that negative space. Be positive. I think an important thing to remember is just to be kind on social media. You don't know the state of somebody on the other side of a screen, and really you should just be nice. Like, that shouldn't be a hard thing to do. And the last thing is just to go for it, guys. Just go for it. Nothing's going to happen if you don't start. And of course we want to start and we want to be on a good footing and we want to be amazing straight away, but that just doesn't happen. We need to start somewhere and grow, okay? And so the biggest advice I could give you is just to go for it, just to start. I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't start when I had. That makes no sense. But what I'm trying to say is that I'd love, when I first started on Instagram or on YouTube even, I would love to be where I am now. But I couldn't be where I am now without having had that journey. And of course, in 6 months' time, hopefully I'll have improved again. And that's where I want to be now. But I need to grow. I need to get there. So don't be afraid to start and make mistakes. That's what social media is all about. It's about growing. A bit like your book. You start with your draft and you edit and work upon it until it's this amazing masterpiece, hopefully. And that's the same with social media. Just start. Just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, quite a lot of things. I shouldn't say that. But think about the positives. It's all about growing and it's all about learning. So let me know if you found this video helpful and if you have thought about any of these tips before, or indeed if you have any more tips for social media. I'd love to hear them down below because I'm always looking to learn and improve. Okay guys, I will see you next time. Bye.